Hi, I'm Shpakowsky. I've been married to Michelle for 26 years, and together we have 4 kids. We've been in Alberta. We moved out from, where did we move from?
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. For 14 years. I install floors. Yeah. So.
We met in ministry in New Hampshire. We worked with troubled youth and have a heart to serve in those capacities often. So when we join the church and do things, we like to be involved with people. Well, I probably would say I was more of the prodigal daughter kind of experience. My mother tried to raise us in the church, and it wasn't until I was on my own out of college and made some really bad choices and things, and so God got a hold of my heart then, which led me to grow up really fast and get to know Him in a real intense way. And then I wanted to use that comfort and knowledge of who God is to reach out to others, and which brought me to the ministry I met Phil at. And so that kind of bridges how we met, and our hearts kind of be in the same direction, wanting to reach out to people and love them in the way Christ loves.
I grew up in a Christian home and started off in a Baptist church. I often tell people that I was going to church before I was born. And I guess you could classify my growing up years as I was a good kid. Didn't do the sex, drugs, rock and roll route. Rock and roll came a little bit later. But one of the things growing up in a Christian home and having a lot of church experience, I found that it can be a detriment in the sense of you would hear a speaker and you would constantly rededicate your life because inevitably you sin and you want to be right with God. And although it sounds strange, I grew up in a Baptist church. I was baptized when I was 21 years old. And the reason why was because I thought I had to be good enough to be baptized, and I realized that's just not the case. That's almost, I think a lot of Christian kids that grow up in the church don't fully understand the gospel, that you will never be good enough apart from what Christ has done. And it dawned on me when I was 21 that I'm never going to be good enough. It's only what Christ has done. So I got baptized, and it was actually shortly after that I heard about his Mansion Ministries, where Michelle and I met, and I decided to do a counseling course down there and stayed there for a number of years.
Being in a place where our kids are almost done with school, we have 2 that are kind of raised or in college and moving on with their life, and the other 2 in high school. God's just really teaching me how much not in control I am, and that I really need to just rest on His love for my kids and His control, whatever life is, whatever's going on. And that really comes out to be new every morning, really. Each day brings its own little thing that I'm constantly running back to God.
I think for that question, lately with the whole COVID thing going on, is the whole aspect of community and how we want to impact our surroundings, our communities around us. What was that book that we read? Do Great Things or Do Hard Things. It's actually a book that was written for kids. And the whole premise of the book is don't just think of small things, you know. I guess the premise of the book was a lot of times Christian kids, they're looked at as spiritual if they just don't do drugs, sex, rock and roll, you know, that kind of thing. And the challenge of the book is no, ask God for big things. So he talked about kids that would start these incredible things. And so lately I've been thinking, you know what, sometimes I think too small, like that I have to use my own resources. You know, my heart's desire is to advance the kingdom of God. And a lot of times I think, well, how do we do that? You know, how can we do it in our own resources? And time again, through Michelle, she will challenge me on, you know, like, dream big. God is big. God could do miraculous things. And lately I've been praying along that route of, you know, God, let me see opportunities, but your miraculous things, you know, not necessarily me trying to, you know, finagle things, but you know, something that he would do, and I want to be part of that.